It's us, the twins. We're back.
Yeah, we back. We've had some family visitations recently, so we've been kind of busy with that. For this episode, and considering how recent it is, we're going to be talking about Commander.
Yay, Commander! Easily the most popular format to date so far, just considering how easily available and how vast the amount of cards that are available to use are. So it's pretty much a plethora of options and opportunities to go with. And plus it's such a casual format that it's, an easy way to get people either started in Magic or a fun thing to do with a bunch of friends whenever you're just like, hey, let's play this.
Yeah, because, playing 60 card multiplayer games can only get so far so quickly, especially if people are doing different decks like Merfolk versus Progenitus versus Blue-White Control versus Goryo's Vengeance. That's not going to be fun. However, if you find that to be fun, good for you. To me, that does not sound like fun.
I mean, remembering from our times at college, there were a bunch of different opportunities that we had to play like 6, 7 people player modern matches and stuff like that.
James, you played Tron in those matches. Shut up.
Not all the time.
Still.
There was one match that I had everyone gang up against me.
Yeah, we basically played arch enemy against you. You sat at literally the head of a table, and it was 6 of us, and we killed you.
Yeah, to be fair, I messed up on that one.
But that's a story for another day.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to Commander. More specifically, what the fuck is it? Because, it's one of those things that you gotta know, especially providing context of things. So, Commander, from what I understand, and from what countless articles have told us beforehand, Commander was started, I believe, back in the 90s, early 2000s, more than likely late 90s, like 97, 98, 99, somewhere around there. And from what I've heard, it was a bunch of judges that were bored, and they basically made their own side event where the judges got to play with the then made Elder Dragons and some of the other legendaries that were from that same time period. But more popular was everyone got to play with the Elder Dragons. And so it drew in popularity amongst the judges, and then it drew amongst the players. And so Elder Dragon Highlander basically became a thing. Now, what is it specifically? It is a format where you play with 100 singleton cards, or 100 one-of cards, the only exceptions being basic lands, because you can have as many of those in a deck as you want. But you also have one commanding general, hence the other name for it, Commander, but it used to just be the Elder Dragons that would lead the charge. And so that's kind of how it got its popularity in its name.
Basically, to give a little bit more, the commander of your deck either works with the main strategy of the deck that you're trying to do, or your commander is the main strategy of your deck that you're trying to do. Like with me, I play Skithiryx the Blight Dragon, so I pump up Skittles once he is casted from the command zone and just try and kill people as quickly as possible because yay, infecting commander. That still is set at 10. Now, I disagree with that and should be set to either 15 or 20, but house rules do apply in some shops depending upon how the meta is.
I mean, our house rule is we do 20 just to be fair.
Outside of the house, going to shops, that's a different story.
Yeah, I mean, some people put it at 15. I heard one place has it at 15, another place has it at 20, but the one we usually go to, the Game Hub, they have it at 10 still.
Yeah, because, Infect isn't really that popular of a commanding deck. Even though there's Skittles, there's Atraxa, even though Atraxa is more of a Super Friends deck.
No. You can do it. You can do Atraxa in a multitude of different ways.
I know, but that's the most popular one so far, is Super Friends.
Yeah.
Anyways, back to the point, though. So, it's one of 3 different ways that your commander of your deck goes about it. Hell, there's even opportunities to just not to even play the commander. You can just play it for the Kellers that you want to play and just play all the other good stuff. Hell, someone won a commander match without even playing their commander.
Hi, I've done that before.
Not you. I was referring to a different instance, but yeah, you've done that before too.
Hooray, group hug!
Playing it with the
Doing Commander with Plane Chase is a very, very fun thing to do, but also
it gets very long-winded.
Yeah, make sure you have, like,
food,
several
snacks.
hours. Just make sure you have several hours and some food and snacks set aside, so this way no one gets bored, and also set aside time to make sure you have bathroom breaks.
Yeah, because
you gonna get there for a long time.
Oh yeah, depending upon what plane chase card you draw. Anyways, that's another topic for another episode.
That'd be fun to view. But how did we get into Commander? I'll start because between the two of us, I first got introduced to it.
It took me a bit.
I'll get there.
I know.
I'll get there with you.
Okay.
Your time later, my time now.
Okay.
So, for me with Commander, it basically started off as everyone in our campus that did play Magic, we were starting to get bored with playing 60s. And so we were just kind of like, hey, who here has a Commander deck? And like 4 of them rose their hands and they were like, yeah, we got some. They're back in our dorms. And I'm like, okay, could I try it? And they're like, yeah, sure. One of them had another one somewhere and I played it and it was fun. Don't remember which one that Commander was, but that's beside the point. But in my case, because they told me I could do whatever I wanted so long as I had the cards in the color of the Commander and the Commander itself, I could do whatever I wanted. So, me being me and me having a binder full of jank rares and duds, I looked around and I found a couple of them that were of interest to me, and then I had to make sure that they were viable for the Commander, because there are some, not a lot, but there are some that are not viable for Commander. Just either as the general in a total, or they literally just won't work because of certain rules and regulations and all that.
Also, something that we forgot to mention at the open. Your Commander has to be a legendary in addition to whatever else it is.
Yes, it has to be a legendary creature, or of the old text, summon legend.
Or, if you're that one Commander set, it was the pre-con Commanders back in like 2014, 2013, that Planeswalkers.
Yeah, Planeswalkers can be your Commander. Specifically, the ones that state at the very bottom of the text, this Planeswalker can be used as your Commander. However, with the recent legendary rule change to Planeswalkers, that is now kinda up in debate amongst LGSs. I know in our case with the Game Hub, Matt says that he'll allow it for some, but not for all, because some of them get pretty dumb.
Like Jace, or Ugin.
Yeah, as much as I would love to see Ugin as a Commander, that would get pretty dumb pretty quick.
An Ugin deck versus a Nico Bolas deck would be pretty cool.
Oh my god, that'd be great.
But that'd be scary.
Oh yeah, that would be. It's like, oh hey, we're just gonna play literal Elder Dragons Highlander.
Come at me, bro!
Yeah, pretty much. Just come at me, fight. But getting back to it, in my case, my first Commander that I made by myself was Narset Enlightened Master. And it was good for a little bit, but with the amount of spells that I would have to throw in via suggestions and other things, and how much that would have cost me, I'm just kind of was like, no. Because not gonna lie, people were suggesting some pretty dumb things.
Mm-hmm.
And it was well without my price range. Granted, I could have kept it as the derpy little thing that it was, but I wanted to see what other ones could do. So, I believe the next one I had was actually my Krenko deck that I still have. Because I may be an elf player in Modern, but goblins are just too fun not to play in Commander. And then around this time, after some rather forceful motivation, I got James into it by literally just saying, hey, James, you should really play Commander with all of us. It's fun.
Yeah, you and 4 friends pretty much dragged me kicking and screaming and was like, James, play Commander, damn it! I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I literally even just started going through his card collection without his permission. I'm like, James, go through your binder and pick a legendary creature. And he's like, okay, I'll pick Sunquan. But then everyone was like, James, as a friend, play Teferi. But also as a friend, don't play Teferi. Thank you, Jordan, for that advice. Because fuck Teferi as a Commander.
Well, that and Sunquan, too. He's pretty good.
But Sunquan seems more
better as a part of the 99.
Yeah, he's better. He's better in the 99. Yes, but we still didn't want you dealing with Teferi. No. So that led to some interesting games.
Yeah.
And then who was your first actual one that you made by yourself? Wasn't it Kresh?
Yeah, Kresh the Blood Rated. And then, as I had said in the introductory episode, immediately after making that, playing like 2 or 3 matches with it, again, our friend Jordan.
God bless our Lord and Savior, Jordan.
Yeah, that's a thing that we have going around as our friends. Don't question us!
Yeah, basically Jordan and James made Brago together.
Yeah, because Jordan just basically sat me down after facing 1v1 against it. He's like, okay, this is terrible. I'm gonna make you an actual proper one with stuff I've got. So, yet again, just getting cards for free, Brago was made. Then I went and bugged Matt, and it was like, hey, could you help me make this better? And Matt and Jordan were like, let's go.
Yeah, so that's how that got into being a thing. And then my latest one, I would say, well, actually, this is a good segue. My current generals for Commander are Queen Marchesa, long may she reign, Krenko, and now I have 2 others to add to the list. I got Edgar Markov and Erdurgan, because Erdurgan, excuse me, proper pronunciation, Dragon. I don't know why, but it's very tempting just to say Erdurgan.
Because it's so easy just to forget how to enunciate appropriately and just be like,
no, it's not even pronunciation, it's actual saying of the word. Because you're literally taking the R-A and you're replacing it with the It's Durgan.
Yeah?
Versus Dragon.
Just easier to say and as far as a segue in between words.
It's also fun. Just Durgan.
Because why not?
Ermagerd Durgan.
Then I remember you had also said you had Rafik for a bit. That got scrapped.
Yeah, Rafik of the hedge fund money, as we jokingly call him. He was... Let's just say Voltron is not my strong suit.
You gotta be on the ball with that for you.
It's basically, can I kill someone in one shot? Yes. Do I want to? Yes. Do I hate them? Maybe. In my case, it's, oh, hey, I'm just gonna pass it on my ass and see what happens, and then point and shoot someone.
Because politicking in Commander is always fun.
Yeah, that's kind of the reason why I made Marchesa in the first place. Apart from James literally giving me, 16 packs of Conspiracy for Christmas and just be like, here. And then I bought a Queen Marchesa, and I was like, ooh, long may she reign.
Yay.
So, James, who are your current generals, including the new ones?
Well, obviously, Skittles.
And obviously, Brago.
Yep. Don't really play Brago too much now. I gotta go back through the deck and just be like, okay, what do I want to do with it? Because honestly, I just get bored playing Brago.
Because flickering 1,000,001 things after a while does get boring.
I need to get more aggressive with it, so I think I need to find more aggressive flicker abilities. I don't have Guafa Hazid.
I thought you did.
I have him in the deck box, but not in the actual 99. Maybe if I took something out and put him in, yes, but no.
And then who do you have for the other commanders?
I have Yidris from the previous year's Precon deck. I have it as Yidris, Hypergenesis, cheat out big stuff and just go to town. Because, yay Cascade, and then also yay Hypergenesis, and then yay having big stuff.
Hooray, big dumb shit.
Because, Kozilek, the new Emrakul, not the old Emrakul, because that's banned. So yeah, all that stuff. I also have, from the new set, Arbo, the, cat deck, because, yay kitties!
Or as everyone likes to call him, Kemba the White Lion.
I should get that altered like that, that'd be cool.
Yeah, that would. And then who do you have for... You just also have the Wizards one, right? You're just kind of sitting there planning it out?
Yep, I have the Wizards Precon deck just, sitting there, plotting, thinking,
waiting.
Determining what I want to do with it. I think I'm going to go with Kess instead of Anala, but I do remember seeing a bunch of different Anala decks that are going around.
Especially the really good competitive commander ones for Anala.
Yeah, that got ridiculous. Thankfully, at the Game Hub, Matt has a rule where if you go infinite, you can only go infinite 5 times. As far as, a combo is concerned. If you're a combo deck and you have an infinite combo you can do with it, you can only do it 5 times.
You can only do 5 turns.
Take extra turns, all that stuff. I know with the Teferi combo deck because of Chain Veil and that one other thing.
There's a lot of things that you can do with Teferi as commander.
The Planeswalker Teferi this time around.
Yeah, you can do infinite turns, infinite mana. The mana's kind of hit or miss in Matt's shop, just depending, because he's like, oh hey, just make sure you're not taking a lot of time away from turns.
Yeah, because, slow play and then also everyone else getting bored.
But at the same time, it's kind of justified considering Teferi does require a lot of math and...
a lot of planning and thinking as far as, can I kill everybody or am I only just going to be able to kill one person?
Because our friend Jordan, he plays Planeswalker Teferi as a commander for his Super Friends deck. Because he literally has all the blue Planeswalkers.
Yeah.
And he basically has to play it out as, do I kill myself or do I kill everyone else? And that's how his strategy goes with it. So, in terms of Matt's shop, the limit is 5. And other than that, you can just have fun. As long as there are... Because I heard, not from Matt, but from other people, that there have been times where requests for certain commanders to be banned have been theorized, but... at the same time, it's not off the table. It just depends on how dumb things can get.
with how everything's going, we just gotta...
See how things go?
Yeah, pretty much.
Because I don't really think that a lot of commanders should be banned, except for Leovold. Fuck that guy.
Fuck Leovold. Thank God he's banned. Jordan actually was like, hey, James, buy that foily Leovold that Matt has in his shop and just rip it. He's like, I would. I would, too. I know it's like $70-something, but still, I would. Just because fuck that card. Like, it's good, but it was too fucking efficient.
No, I'd rather just set him on fire. I wouldn't rip him. I wouldn't give him that courtesy. That's too quick. I'd give him the slow death of just flame. It would also be pretty. Just watching the sparks come off of it.
Oh yeah, because boiling processes.
Well, if it does spark, that'd be pretty. But anyways, Commander can be fun, but it also depends on how things go.
Also depends on how competitive or relaxed your play groups are, because I know there are varying times we have competitive matches or just casual as shit matches. And it just really depends upon what deck you're playing against. I know when we played the precons for this past cycle that just came up, the vampire deck was definitely seen as a really big threat. So the vampire player at my table got killed first. The Ur-Dragon player...
Ur-Dragon!
Actually, he didn't play Ur-Dragon. He played Ramos.
Ramos is also really good.
He played Ramos as the commander, and he basically killed everybody else.
And you're dead, and you're dead, and you're dead.
Yep.
I'm not dead, so yay.
Yeah.
So, it just depends on how things go. I mean, I know all of them seem really good. It just depends on what people tinker with them and do to them.
Out of the box, the precons are all very powerful. The Wizards deck seems lacking in stuff to do with it, so it seems underpowered.
No, you want to talk about underpowered. The Dragons one, as everyone has stated already, the Dragons one needs mana fixing.
It was good and very powerful, but
you
mana.
Need it to be more consistent in the manas.
Yeah, so thus obviously tinkering with that, you can fix those shortcomings that it has with it. Because, I don't think there's really too much out of the box that you can change out of it. I mean, I'm certain you can buy a bunch of different dragons or other creatures or enchantments and stuff that you can do.
You can buy a bunch of mana rocks, mana dorks. You can buy a bunch of stuff to just make mana and just go from there. Other than that, land fixing is also a thing, Throw in Evolving Wilds and Terramorphic Expanse, goddammit, because that is not in the main deck whenever you open it out of the box. Everyone else has it, except for the Dragons deck, unless you're doing it in a certain other way.
Also, there was another griping point last year with Yidras. It was the only deck to have Chromatic Lantern in.
Oh, that was dumb.
It was great, but it was much needed for that deck, just considering of the Kellers.
God bless Chromatic Lantern. I'm just going to say that now, because I have one.
Same.
But thank God it is a multi-purpose tool.
Oh, yeah. I'm sad that it didn't get printed in every other Commander deck, too. But I don't know. There are certain cards, whenever they get put into a Commander Precon, that everyone's like, oh, well, why wasn't it in this deck or this deck? Wizards can only do so much, and it'll give every other deck a fair chance to fight against everyone else.
You gotta balance the value.
Yeah, that's perfect to say for that.
Because it's like, you get the ones like, yeah, Soul Ring, because obligatory Soul Ring joke. And then, some other ones. But if you start throwing in, Chromatic Lantern, Darksteel Ingot. I mean, Darksteel Ingot's actually not a terrible one.
No, it's a pretty good card.
Yeah. But, Chromatic Lantern, I can see why they didn't throw it in, because it's getting to the point where it's a little pricey.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of Commander and all that. I don't know, there's a certain point where I kind of feel like they should have just been like, hey, let's just throw it in all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, that would throw off a lot of things for other decks, but if you can make it work, you can make it work. I was able to make the Group Hug deck work for the longest time just out of the box, and I did nothing to it.
Well, that's just, the obvious strategy of pass, sit on my ass.
I mean, about the only thing I did was add in Feldegriff, because Feldegriff.
Yay, flying purple hippo.
He's a happy purple flying hippo.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Anyways, also, something else that we forgot at the beginning. Whenever your commander is cast from the command zone and then put either back into the command zone.
James, what is this, rules discussions now?
Basic understanding of how the game works
I was just meaning a basic understanding of how it works as a what the fuck it is. And the rules for it. Not all of the rules, but just the general guideline of, hey, you have 100 cards, one is your leader, the rest are to do the bidding and to play with, and you go from there.
The biggest thing we forgot to say at the beginning, though, was if your commander dies while out on the field or is removed from the game, you can put it back into the command zone, but it costs 2 more to cast. That is a very important thing to put in there.
Or it can go to graveyard, if you so choose to.
You don't really want that depending on strategy, but if you want it in there, go ahead.
Hey, sure, I'll just play the zombie knight that can get cast from the graveyard and nowhere else. Sure!
Isn't that Hakan?
Yeah. I don't know how that would work if Hakan was the general. I don't think it would work at all.
Is he even a legendary?
Yeah, he is. Getting back to the general impressions, I would say, of 2017's Commander set, I enjoyed it very much, and I'm still tinkering with my decks to see what works and what doesn't work, because I like vampires and I like dragons. And I'm slowly getting to the point where I think the decks even know what is going on, and I think they're starting to work better for me, because out of the box they were just like, oh hey, you want to play stuff? No, fuck you. I don't know how it was for you. Also, that's another thing I realize now. I think the decks know, not just my commander decks, but I think even my modern decks know. I think there's a point where all of us as Magic players realize some days the deck knows that we're talking bad about it, and some days the deck knows we're talking good about it. So that's why I try and be neutral on my opinions about my decks. I don't know if you talk to your decks.
Depending upon how the match is going, like I know at Baltimore there were sometimes, SCG Baltimore for those that haven't been around for the other episodes, when I was playing Free Win Red, like just talking with my decks over and over whenever I was trying to look for stuff or just trying to get a piece that I needed to help win the match. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. It's just how it goes.
But I feel like that's one of those things where it's like, you do it in any type of hobby that you do regardless. I mean, hell, I've even heard, people talk to their cars, people talk to their, obviously their pets, they talk to their pets, their cars. I've even heard people talk to, like, the weirder inanimate objects. Like, I've heard people talking about toolboxes, like the wrenches. It's one of those things that universally, we just kind of start talking to whatever we're doing. You talk to it and it listens. So some days if I'm like, deck, why the hell aren't you giving me your mana? And then it doesn't give me mana still. I know it's mad, but there are days where it's like, okay, I'm going to give you a break. I'm going to give you what you want. It's like, thank you.
Yay, Magic for being a game of skill, luck, and just consistency.
Okay, so we don't get too sidetracked and start talking about other non-Magic related stuff. We're just going to cut the episode now.
Because, we could just sit here rambling on for like an hour.
We have done that before. 2 hours even.
Mm-hmm. This was another episode of Magic the Brothering. I'm James.
This is Josh. Hopefully y'all have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.